Hello everyone. Now we are going to start from the divisibility theory in the integers. Before starting on the theory, we want to discuss some key points in the theory, like as a definition of set, what are prime number, composite numbers, all those things. If you have some knowledge of the definition, then only by listening you can understand the concept. What is a set in mathematics? A set is a well-defined collection of elements. A well-defined collection of elements is called set. What is the meaning of well-defined collection? See, if I say first five natural number, then it means the set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A set is represented by these curly brackets. And the elements present inside the set are look like this. They can be any object, number, alphabet, name of the person, name of the fruit, anything, and they are separated by a comma. I think you know the set. Now, what is the meaning of well-defined? Now, here if I say 5 real number, then 5 real number will be vary from person to person. One person will write 5 real number like this: 0.1, 0.222, 0.5, 7.9, 8.3. Another person will write it like as minus ke 0.7 and 1.3 and 2, 4, 8.9 like this. So 5 real number are not fixed. They vary from person to person because they have not any criteria to define them. Therefore, 5 real number will not contribute to the set. A set should be a collection of well-defined element. Well-defined. Here the keyword well-defined means they should have a fixed value always. When I will say that you have to type first 5 natural number, then every person will write this set like this. No difference will be created. Understood? Now the next, what are the prime numbers? Prime number means if only one and the number itself should be the divisor of that number. For example, if I write 17 here, then 17 can be only divided by 1 and only 17. No other cannot be divided only 17. An integer p represents basically prime. P greater than 1 is called prime if and only if 1 and p are the only divisor of p. 1 and p are the only divisor. It means 1 and the prime itself are the divisor of the p. Next definition, composite number. Composite number is basically a number which can be break down into the multiple of 2 or more number. For example, here I write as 18. 18 can be written as 9 multiplied 2, and even it also can be broken as 6 multiplied 3, even also can be broken as 3 multiplied 3 multiplied 2, like this. A composite number is an integer such that n is not prime. Basically, if you say that in terms of prime, then the reciprocal of the reverse of the prime. Basically, the number which is not prime will be the composite number, or you can say that a composite number is a number which can be written as a, for example, n is a composite number if it can be written as a multiply b, where a and b are not equal and are not equal to 1. A should not be equal to b and a and b should not be equal to 1. Means they should be different. Product should be different. Understood? Now next one, Euclid algorithm. This is very important. From here, the main concept is going to be started. What is Euclid algorithm? If you have a notebook and pen right now, then please start note on the definition with me. Euclid algorithm derives from the division part. For example, if I divide 7 by 2, then 2, 3 are 6 and remainder will be 1. Do you know that? It means dividend. Basically, we know the theorem that dividend is equal to divisor multiply quotient plus के remainder. You know this now. Dividend here is basically 7 and divisor here is basically 2 multiply 3. Basically multiplication of these two and 3 plus के remainder, that is 1 here. This used to be the criteria when we were in our school time. Now how Euclid algorithm has derived this definition? Let A and B are two positive integers. Let A and B are two positive integers, then there exist integers Q1 and R1 such that A can be written as a Q1 times of B plus K R1. Listen now. If you have not understood the concept, then please listen here. This is A. For example, when you are dividing A by B, then this is a quotient. Quotient is represented by Q. Dividend here is B and dividend here is A, and remainder is represented by the R value, that is R. So A, if there are two numbers, then any number can be written as A equal to Q1 times of B plus K R1. Let me give you some example. If I understand that 17 and 3, let's suppose this is integer and this is integer. Now I can write 17 as a multiple of 3 basically. So 3 times 3 4 12 3 5 15 3 5 15 plus K 2. Here let A and B are two integers. So here we suppose 17 and 3 to be two integer. Then there exist two integers basically Q1 and R1. Here is the value of Q1, basically Q1 and R1, such that 17, the bigger number, can be written as a multiple of the smaller number plus K remainder. Now you understood? The bigger number can be written as a multiple of the second number plus K some remainder. Again, I can write 5 and 2 because 5 and 2 are these two integers. 5 can be written as a 2 multiply 2 plus K 1. Understood? Now again I can write 2 as a multiple of 1. So 2 can be written as a 2 multiply 1. It means we can extend our change. Doesn't fix at a place. It will fix when R1 will become to 0. Now here 2 is the GCD. If you have not understood, like if you are finding difficulty, then don't worry. Slowly you will understand the concept. Now let me give you some example. If I give you some questions like find GCD. Find GCD of 70, 112. GCD means greatest common divisor, which also be known as a SCF, that is the highest common factor. If you are not able to do this question, then try to do GCD of let's suppose 15 and 5. No, not 15 and 5, 15 and 25. 15 and 25. You already know that GCD means SCF, and SCF we used to find in our school time like this: 5 3 ja and 3 1 ja and 25, 5 5 ja and 5 1 ja. The common factor was used to be the SCF, that is 5 is the SCF. But here we are not going to do in this way. We have to apply the Euclid algorithm. How we can apply the Euclid algorithm? Euclid algorithm say that the bigger number, that is 2 5, can be written as a multiple of 15 multiply smallest number. So 15 to 30, it will extend to 25. No, it should not extend to 25. 15 multiply 1, that is 15 and the 15 plus K. How much? 10. Now, if the remainder is not 0, then you cannot say the SCF right now. Again, you will pick these two numbers, 15 and 10. Now, 15 can be written as a multiple of 10, that is 10 multiply 1 plus k 5. Now, 10 and 5, 10 can be written as a 5 multiply 2, and the remainder is 0. So, whenever you get the remainder 0, then the value which is present here will be the SCF, your SCF. Now, again, here try 112 can be written as a 70 multiplies. If I multiply 2, then it will be 140, which will be greater than 112. No, not possible. 70 multiply 1, then how much remaining? That is 52. No. 42. 42, no? Now you have to choose these one and this one. 70 will come here and 42 will come here. 42 2 84 becomes, so no, still we will choose 1. 42 and 10 minus k2 will be 8 and 6 minus k4 will be 2. Now write 42 in terms of 28. So 42 here, 42 and 28. 28 multiply 2 will be 56. No, still we cannot write 28 multiply 1. And then how much will be remaining? 12 में 4 and this is 14. Now 28 can be written as a multiple of 14. That is 14 multiplied 2 plus k 0. So here 14 is the SCF here. This one. 14 is the SCF. Understood or not understood? Now I'm giving you the question. Question number 2. Find GCD of 105, 69. 105, 69. Please pause the video and start doing this question. Now, if you have done, then it's very good. Please check the answer. The biggest number, that is 105, can be written as a multiple of some multiple of the second number plus something. Now, if I think in my mind that if I multiply 69 by 2, then it will go beyond 120. So I cannot write 2 here. I will write 1, 16 multiply 1, and then how much will be remaining? 15 minus k 9, 6, and 9 minus k, that will be 36. Now again 69 will come here. 69 and 36 I have to target. 36 multiply something plus k something. So can I write 69, 36 to the 72? No, I cannot choose the 2 number here. I will choose here 1. And then again, how much will be 9 minus k 63, and 6 minus k 3 will be 3. Again, now 36 can be written as a 33 multiply 1 plus k 3. Now 33 can be written as a 3 multiply 11 here, and remainder is 0. So here I can say that this is the SCF or this is a GCD. So was this your answer 3? Understood now? Next one. What is Euclid lemma? I have already told you the difference between theorem and the lemma. Now there are two very, very important lemma. Please note down what are the lemma. First lemma, if P divides AB, then we can say that P either divides A or P either divides B. I don't know whether I have tell you the meaning of the symbol or not, but remember, for example, if you divide 4 by 2, so then you are getting 0. It means then you can write it as that 2 divides 4. 2 divides 4. Not 4 divides 2. 2 divides 4. This is the line meaning, okay? So if a prime is dividing product of a 2 number, for example, if I write here, for example, 2 is dividing 34, then it means that 2 is dividing 2 multiply 17. Then here you can see that this prime is only dividing the 2. It is not dividing the 2. It is dividing 34 because 34 contains this prime. Understood? That's why 2 is able to divide. If I expand this, that 2 divide 2 or 2 divide 17, then it will be wrong. So this satisfies this portion. So if I p divide a multiplication of two number, then it means that it is dividing only one of the two number. Second number, if a divide bc, then and GCD of BC is 1. It means B and C do not have anything common. Then it definitely mean that A divide, sorry, not BC, AB. AB, then it definitely mean then A divide C. Now understood this concept? Let's suppose that 3 is dividing 60. 3 is dividing 60. Then I can write 60 as a 15 multiply 4. है ना? And I also can write it as a in terms, because I need to break down into the smallest number as it can be. So 5 multiply 3 multiply 4. So here I also can break it as a 3 and 3 multiply 20. Okay. Now they are saying that GCD of A comma B is 1. A comma B. Here if I choose this as a and let me shift like this, 20 multiply 3. A and B. This is A and this is B. If you are writing that the GCD of 3 comma 2, then it will be 1, because they do not have anything common now. But 3 is dividing the product, then definitely 3 is dividing the second wala part. Understood or not understood? Wait, let me explain you once more. If a number is dividing, let's suppose 3 number B, C, D. If a number is dividing the product of a 3 number and it is given that GCD of A comma B is 1, and also it is given that GCD of A comma D is 1, then we can say that now that A will divide C, definitely A will divide C. That's how it is dividing the full number now. If a number can divide some part of the product, then definitely it will divide the full number. Understood? Okay. Let's move in the next part.